I remember when I first went to go visit my father in jail. My family, it was like our first time ever doing that entire process. And I was a kid. I don't remember much, but I remember the feeling. And I remember seeing my sister and my mom putting the paperwork, getting my ID, and all of that. We weren't able to see, well, the officer said we weren't able to see my father, but an officer was able to be like, hey, like, no, it's fine. Let's get this paperwork done, background checks done. And this was early in the morning. We had to drive like 3 hours to see him. I was tired. I didn't want to go, but my mom pushed me. She's like, no, let's go see your dad, see how he is. So we get the paperwork done. I see other families getting into another bus. There's a lot of buses involved when you're seeing a loved one incarcerated. There's a lot of security pat-downs, background checks, everything. You can't wear certain stuff. You can't bring in certain things. I remember my mom had to go back and leave her bag, phones, everything. We had like cash money, but they're also kind of strict on having cash or coins or just little things like that. All we had was our IDs, money, and one car key. It was like I didn't have anything. So we're on the bus. They're loading us up in a rush. They're like, get in, come on. And the bus is packed, and babies are on the bus. And I didn't think much of it, but now that I'm older, like, I understand it more. And they unload us. They tell us where to go. Some families went other directions. And we're waiting in line. It's another, 2 hours in the waiting room for the next visitation. They call our last name. Well, they call my father's last name. I'm like, okay, it's ready. We just grab ourselves. There's nothing to grab, no bags. So we just walk up. We're holding hands. The officer tells us where to sit. And I have another family here and another family here. And it's just like a clear plastic window with barely any kind of dividers. And just a really old phone that you see outside. Those really old school phones with little push buttons. And we didn't bring any wipes. We didn't know about the sanitary of the importance of it when you're in there. So family saw that we were like, oh, we didn't bring any wipes. So family was able to give us a wipe to wipe the table, the glass when we're about to speak, and the phones. And I see my dad in his suit, and it was just what? My father's really in there. I can't hug him. Can't do anything. And we pick up the phone. My mom talks to him. My sister talks to him. And I'm the last one. And I just remember, I've never seen my father, not intoxicated. His eyes were so clear. He looked fresh, but he also looked a little unhealthy being there, really drained physically and mentally. But I can tell that he wanted to cry, but he just held it in. I remember him just holding in his tears, and I didn't understand why. And then now I'm older and I can see his face now. It was just he was just holding all of that in. So that's the story of my father. And then now I have friends incarcerated. One is out, one is still in. But the one that's in, he's my age, and I used to write him letters, and it would just be kind of sad. I sometimes don't know what to say. I didn't know what to say sometimes. And then my friends incarcerated would send pictures and Thanksgiving cards, and I'm just like, wow, like sometimes I take advantage of having my family here. Like certain things I could say to them that they're not able to see or tell them. Phone calls, like they're limited access on that. But I've only visited my father in jail, and it was I think also very dark thing. But it was just really nice to see him.